There are so many people who wake up every day and they are not purposeful. They don't have any passion. They don't have anything at all that interests them. So what has happened is that they are barely existing. Say that I am an expert on my own interests, my life, or even my career. But there are many things that I have picked up over the years as I have been moving on in life, and today I'll be sharing with you guys. For today's session, it will be more or less interactive because as we go along exploring the different stanzas in this declaration, my interests, my life, my career, we will be writing down the different things that come to mind. So starting off, when we consider our own interests, go ahead, think about yourself. What is your name? Go ahead, say your name. What interests you? What are you passionate about? What do you love to do? And what do you look forward to doing every day? There are so many people who wake up every day and they are not purposeful. They don't have any passion. They don't have anything at all that interests them. So what has happened is that they are barely existing. They're not fully living. So it's very important for us to delve deeper to find out what really interests me in this digital age where the world is our oyster, as they say. We can just go onto the internet and even type in a list of interests, and in front of us will be many and varied interests. Say for instance, traveling, learning new languages. We can be interested in graphic design, cooking, making hair products. There are so many different areas in which we can find interests, but we need to first think to ourselves, what interests have I explored in the past, right? Because there may be some interests that you've had that you've explored. Say for instance, you love to play basketball. Now you play in a league, you know you're interested in basketball, you really love to play it, you really love to do it, you're interested in developing this skill. So that is an explored interest. But what about those interests that you have not yet explored? Things that you've always wanted to do in life, but you've never really dug deeper? Like, what are those things? So go ahead, write down what explored interests you have and what unexplored interests you have. Okay, are you there yet? Okay, great. All right, now that you have a list of broad interests, now it's important to go ahead and narrow down these interests. Why is it that we need to narrow down these interests? It is really because time is limited. I mean, in a given day, there are only 24 hours, right? And there's so many different priorities, competing priorities, which means that we have to focus on those things that we want to do the most and we have the most interest in. It doesn't necessarily mean that we have to have the most skill in that particular area, but we can move towards doing the thing that we're most interested in, right? We may not have the skills necessary at this point in time, at this moment, but we begin the course of setting in motion the process to learn more every day. It's very important for us to learn more about the areas that we're interested in. When we reach to that juncture, when we've identified our narrow interest, then we can go ahead and learn more about the interest. We can go ahead and upskill, meaning that we can find out the skills that are necessary to develop these interests that we don't already have, and we can find out the necessary certifications that are needed if we want to go deeper and deeper into this area. We can also go ahead and create a schedule, right? When I refer to my time trying to learn musical instruments, one of the main reasons that I did not progress further in learning the musical instrument was because I did not properly manage my time. I was not investing the time needed in order to become better at playing the piano, harmonica, recorder, steel pan, and so on. And so eventually the interest waned, and I just was not able to keep up because I did not properly schedule my time. So there you go. Time management is very important. Another big factor is networking. When you integrate, associate with partners who believe in the same things that you do, you're more likely to achieve your goals and your dreams. So networking is a big part of understanding more about the area that you have an interest in, learning from other people who have done well in this area, learning from their successes and failures. Some people are big on successes, but they're not so keen on failures. But it's important for us to be able to understand how people have failed before in order to understand how we are going to avoid certain things going forward. Many people love to receive help or assistance from others, but they're not very keen on providing said assistance to others, right? So once we've learned, we can also pass on knowledge to others, because this also helps us. Some people may think that it doesn't help them. They may see it as, oh, I don't want to bring too much competition into my area, or I don't want to get people involved, or I don't want to get people to know what I'm doing. But in actual fact, this may help you to progress even further. A final thought that I would like to leave with you as we wrap up this section on your interests is unearthing your interests, or unearthing your passion, has the ability to replenish, restore, and even resurrect whatever dry bones have been laying inside of you, whatever hindrances that you've been having. After assessing and becoming familiar with your passions, it may actually propel you to living a more abundant life. So let's move on to the next stanza of our declaration. Your life. What is the meaning of your life? What is the purpose of your life? How do you plan to make the most of your time on earth? And how do you plan on leaving a legacy so that generations to come may remember your impact. Right? Go ahead and think about it. I recall a seminar that I was a part of a couple days ago where a success strategy was discussed. Actually, the success strategy of my cousin. And in this seminar, she said that her number one focus for achieving her goals was to write down her mission statement in life. Can you imagine? Right? That is truly, truly profound, right? So she wanted to have an idea of what she needed to do in order to fulfill her God-given purpose, right? So this is really, really very important. You know, I really love to read King Solomon because he was the wisest man that ever lived. And he made 2 recommendations concerning life, which we can find in Ecclesiastes 9, where he says, for one, we are to live in the most meaningful way possible, right? We're to enjoy all of the good things that God has blessed us with, the food, the drink, the perfume, marriage, all of God's good gifts. All of God's good gifts. Yes. So we're supposed to enjoy life. We're supposed to live in a joyful way. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that we're to work diligently. Whatever we set our minds to do, whatever we have been given to do, whatever task we have been provided with, right? We should work to the best of our abilities. We should do it with all our might, right? So those are the 2 recommendations: to live a meaningful life and to work diligently. With this in mind, can you consider, are you living a meaningful life? Are you working diligently? With that backdrop of living a more meaningful life and working diligently, what do you believe that your life's purpose is? There are so many different things that people could say to answer this question. For example, some people believe that their life's purpose is to bring order and calm to chaos, while some persons believe that their purpose is to bring joy and laughter through humor, right? While others believe that they should be a catalyst for positive change in people's lives, right? Go ahead and think about your own life with the backdrop of wanting to live a life of meaning and to work diligently in whatever sphere. What is your life's purpose? What kind of impact do you want to leave? Go ahead, take some time and then write that down. Right. Then finally, what I would like to leave with you before we wrap up this section is that unearthing your purpose, unearthing your life's purpose has the ability to dissect and to direct. So dissecting gets rid of those things that don't add to your life's purpose, because maybe for right now you're moving ahead in life and you're carrying a lot of baggage with you. Some things that don't serve your life purpose and some things that serve your life purpose. So when you go through the process of dissecting, you will be able to get rid of everything that does not serve your purpose and move ahead into your life's purpose. Very good. So now we are at the last stanza of the declaration, your career. But what exactly is a career? when we think about a career, we can think about things like your profession, your trade, your vocation, you know, just everything that goes together with your skills, your experience, your training, and causes you to earn an income. So that is what we're talking about. Of course, we need to understand that not everyone has the same career trajectory. Different people may have different paths to their career. For some people, it may be very simple. They've always wanted to help people. They've wanted to be a doctor since they were a child, and they've studied the sciences. They came up, they went on to medicine, then they got an internship in the hospital, then they moved on to residency. It's pretty straightforward. They have advanced in the same occupation throughout the course of their career, you know. Everything was clear. But for others, they may have had multiple yet unrelated jobs. But everything goes together towards a career, because all of the experiences, the skills, the training can help to usher you into a particular area. You use it towards, you know, building and growing in a particular area. So that also counts for something. There are others who may have been advancing in the same industry, but they might have had different occupations. Let's take someone who has been working as a coder, for example, a coder in the IT industry. They may have started as a coder, then they went on to becoming a functional analyst, then they moved on to becoming, say project manager in the IT industry, and then finally they've moved up the ranks and they're now finally the chief information officer in a large IT firm, right? So they have advanced in the same industry, but they have had different occupations, right? So we can think of the different paths that may lead us, towards our career goals. They don't have to be the same for everybody, but they still count for something. We will achieve a win-win situation when our passion, our interests merge with our purpose and our profession, right? So this is normally referred to as the 3 Ps. You will ultimately achieve the most satisfaction when your passions, your purpose, and your profession align. So if you follow your passions, it will lead you to your purpose, and ultimately you will be able to build a profession. Passion, purpose, profession, they go hand in hand. Understanding them and making sure that they're in full alignment will lead you to a win-win situation. Okay? So at the end of the day, how do you move about to develop your career? Learning. You have to believe in continuous learning. Things are rapidly changing, and so you have to constantly change in order to move with the changing times. So you must be learning, you must be upskilling, you must be getting the certifications necessary to keep you in the know and to keep you at a competitive level, right? Also time management, right? It goes again. You cannot develop a career just sleeping in your bed and dreaming about that career if you're not going to be working for it, and if you don't manage your time well, right? Also networking and mentoring, career building. This will include planning and forecasting, because you don't know how things will change, right? But you can anticipate that in a number of years, things will move in a different direction. And so by planning and forecasting, you can prepare yourself well. Finally, what I would like to say is that unearthing your career goals sets your passion and purpose in motion. Unearthing your career goals, sets your passion and purpose in motion. I hope you have written down your career aspirations, your career goals, where you hope to see yourself in a number of years and how you plan on reaching there. Now, take a look at what you've written down. You've written down your interest, you've written down your purpose statement, and you've also written down your career aspirations. Take a moment and become familiar with what is happening in your life. Okay? Great. All right, so it has been very good sharing with you guys. I myself am currently on the path of unlocking my passion, purpose, and profession. So all the best to you for 2021. And remember now that we are called to live meaningful lives, and we are called to work diligently in whatever we set our minds and hearts to do. And by doing so, ultimately, we will be able to achieve a win-win situation.